Sok mulai.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. We are from fourth group. Will be present the material about silabus dan RPP. My name is Rizky Fauzia Salsabila as a moderator, and my partner are Atikotul Muafakoh, Eva Aprianti, and Ila Carmelia. Definition of syllabus. The term syllabus can be defined as outline, summary, overview, or main point, or content, or subject matter. This term is used to refer to a curriculum development product in the form of further elaboration of the SK and KD to be achieved, and the main material and description of the material that students need to learn in order to achieve SK and KD. Next. Next will be continued by Eva. Eva, time is yours.
Okay, thank you, Kuki. Okay, we'll continue the material. Principle of syllabus. Development Government Regulation of the Republic of Indonesia, number 19 of 2005, concerning National Education Standard Article 20. Learning courses planning includes syllabus and learning implementation plans that contain at least learning objectives, teaching materials, teaching methods, learning research, and assessment of learning outcomes. Next. Okay, and to design a good syllabus for a particular subject, in its development, it is necessary to pay attention to the following principles. 1. Scientific. 2. Relevant. 3. Systematic. 4. Consistency. 5. Adequate. 6. Actual and contextual. 7. Flexible. 8. Comprehensive. And the last, effectiveness. 1. Scientific. All materials and activities that are included in the syllabus can be scientifically justified. 2. Relevance. Descriptive level of difficulty and order of presentation of the material in the syllabus are addressed to the level of physical, intellectual, social, emotional, and spiritual development of students. 3. Systematic. The components of the syllabus are functionally interrelated in achieving basic competencies. Learning materials, learning activities, indicators, time, and learning research are interrelated with one another. 4. Consistency. There is a consensus through the principled relationship between basic competencies, indicators, learning materials, learning activities, learning research, and assessment technique and instruments. 5. Adequate. The coverage of indicators, learning materials, learning activities, learning research, and assessment system is sufficient to support the achievement of basic competencies. 6. Actual and contextual. Coverage of indicators, learning materials, learning activities, learning research, and assessment system taking into account the latest science, technology, and art in real life and events that occur. 7. Flexibility. All components of the syllabus can accommodate the diversity of students, as well as the dynamics of change that occur in school and community demands. 8. Comprehensive. The component of the syllable cover all areas of competence, cognitive, affective, and psychomotor. The three domains of cognitive, affective, and psychomotor, their assessment process is carried out in a comprehensive and interactive manner. And last, effectiveness and effective syllabus is what can be realized in classroom learning. The effectiveness of the syllabus can we see from the gaps that occur between the syllabus that can be implemented in learning. Therefore, when developing the syllabus, the teacher of syllabus developer must imagine the real situation in the classroom so that obstacles can be overcome. Obstacles that may occur can be anticipated so that the gap is not too wide. Next. C. The step for developing the syllabus. 1. Reviewing and determining the competency standard. A. The order is placed on the hierarchy of scientific disciplines concept and or the level of difficulty of the material. B. The relationship between competency standard and basic competence in subject. C. The relationship between competency standard and basic competence between subjects. Next. 2. Formulate competency achievement indicator. Indicators are developed according to the characteristics of students, educational units, and regional potential, and are used as the basic for developing assessment tools. Okay, enough for me. Next will be continue.
Aku lagi, Pak. Okay. 3. Identify main learning materials. A. Potential of student. B. Relevance to regional characteristic. C. The level of physical, intellectual, emotional, social, and spiritual development of students. D. Benefit for student. A. Scientific structure. F. Actually depth and breadth of learning materials. Lanjut, next. Four, determine the type of assessment to measure the achievement of student components, which is carried out based on indicator, using criteria reference, using a continuous rating system. Assessment results are analyzed to determine follow-up. Next. 5. Determine time allocation. Determination of time allocation for each basic competency is based on the number of effective weeks and time allocation of such subject per week, taking into account the number of basic competencies, breadth, depth, lift of difficult and level of improvement of basic competencies. Next. Ini bisa aku buka sih? Oh iya. 7. Determine learning resources. Learning resources are reference object and or material using for learning activities. It can be in the form of print and electronic media, research person as well as the physical, social, and cultural environment. Next. Maftuhah. Ini maftuhah.
Okay, will be continue. Pengertian RPP. The Learning Implementation Plan, or RPP, is the elaboration of the syllabus into several units of operational learning activities, so that educator can implement them. Jadi, rencana pelaksanaan pembelajaran RPP merupakan penjabaran silabus menjadi beberapa unit kegiatan pembelajaran operasional, sehingga pendidik bisa mengimplementasikannya. Mengajar adalah proses mengatur lingkungan supaya siswa belajar yang kemudian diistilahkan dengan pembelajaran. Next. Tujuan dan fungsi RPP. Tujuan dan fungsi RPP yaitu yang pertama mempermudah, memperlancar, dan meningkatkan hasil proses belajar mengajar. Or facilitate, expedite, and improve the result of the teaching and learning process. Yang kedua yaitu memberi kesempatan bagi pendidik untuk merancang pembelajaran sesuai dengan kebutuhan peserta didik, kemampuan pendidik, dan fasilitas yang dimiliki sekolah. Provide opportunities for educator to design learning according to the need of student, the abilities of educator, and the facilities owned by the schools. Dan yang terakhir yaitu dengan menyusun rencana pembelajaran secara profesional, sistematis, dan berdaya guna, maka guru akan mampu melihat, mengamati, menganalisis, dan memprediksi program pembelajaran sebagai kerangka kerja yang logis dan terencana. By completing learning plans in a professional, systematic, and efficient manner, teacher will be able to see, observe, analyze, and predict learning program as a logical and planned framework. Selanjutnya yaitu cara mengembangkan RPP. Langkah-langkah penyusunan RPP yaitu yang pertama, mencantumkan cara mengembangkan RPP. Cara mengembangkan RPP yaitu yang pertama, mengkaji silabus atau reviewing the syllabus. Yang kedua yaitu menentukan tujuan atau setting goals. Selanjutnya yang ketiga yaitu mengembangkan kegiatan pembelajaran or develop learning activities. Yang keempat, penjabaran jenis penilaian atau the description of the type of assignment. Yang kelima yaitu menentukan alokasi waktu atau determine the time allocation. And the last, menentukan sumber belajar atau determine learning resources. Next. Next will be continue with Okay, next. According to Permendiknas number 22 of 2016, concerning process standards, the component of RPP are subject identity, competency standard, basic competencies, indicators of competency, achievement, learning objective, teaching materials, time allocation, learning methods, learning activities, assessment of learning outcomes, learning resource. Okay, guys, any question?
Izin bertanya,
Iya, Ita, silahkan.
apakah setiap guru wajib menyusun sebuah RPP? Dan untuk apa guru menyusun sebuah RPP? Terima kasih.
Terima kasih atas pertanyaannya. Kita ditampung dulu ya.
Ya, ditunggu jawabannya.
Ada lagi yang mau bertanya?
Dulu
Saya
belum di-record ya?
Oh, oke. Oke, saya akan coba menjawab pertanyaan dari Ita. Pertanyaannya, apakah setiap guru wajib menyusun sebuah RPP dan untuk apa guru itu menyusun RPP gitu ya? Setiap guru wajib menyusun RPP? Ya wajib, karena setiap pendidik pada satuan pendidikan itu berkewajiban untuk menyusun RPP secara lengkap dan sistematis. Itu ada di lampiran Permendikbud nomor 22 tahun 2016 tentang standar proses. Jadi untuk yang pertama itu yaitu guru apa wajib apa enggak, itu jawabannya wajib ya, karena itu setiap pendidik itu ya berkewajiban untuk menyusun RPP itu secara lengkap dan sistematis kayak gitu. Dan untuk yang kedua yaitu untuk apa? Buat apa sih nyusun RPP gitu kan? Nah, jawabannya yaitu agar pembelajaran berlangsung secara interaktif, inspiratif, menyenangkan, menantang, efisien, memotivasi peserta didik untuk berpartisipasi aktif, serta memberikan ruang yang cukup bagi prakarsa, kreativitas, dan kemandirian sesuai dengan bakat, minat, dan perkembangan fisik serta psikologi peserta didik. Kayak gitu, Ita. Jadi wajib ya. Dan itu alasannya kenapa kita tuh sebagai seorang guru, bukan kita sih, kenapa seorang guru harus menyusun sebuah RPP kayak gitu. Biar lebih tersusun. Gimana Ita?
Baik, Eva, terima kasih.
Ya, sama-sama.
Ada lagi yang ingin bertanya? Kalau nggak ada mungkin bisa dilanjut ke kelompok selanjutnya ya. Gimana teman-teman, cukup nggak? Atau masih ada yang mau ditanyain?
Cukup.
Oke, kalau cukup, I will read the conclusion. The syllabus can be defined as outline, summary, overview, or main points of content or subject matter. RPP are steps that can be used to provide instruction for the direction of the learning activity process so that it runs with director and has meaning for alignment with the achievement of the desired goals of the learning delivered. Okay, maybe enough from us. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Terima kasih.